I should have known something was wrong, the second Cheryl from HR whispered about missing initials on a new NDA. I don't forget things. That's why the company ran like a turbine instead of a toddler on fire. But sure, I signed her paper, smiled like a good corporate soldier, and went back to translating legal jargon into code triggers for the $300 million Macrovia merger, the one they worshipped like a second coming without actually understanding a line of it. 12 years I'd been at CoreLinks. 12 years of keeping Frankenstein systems alive through 5 CTOs, caffeine, and pure spite. Not a rock star, not a culture warrior, not one of those people who think synergy is a personality trait. Just the woman who made sure the wires didn't catch fire while everyone else played visionary. I didn't need applause. I needed working servers and uninterrupted coffee. Then came Tate, but that's later. That morning, I was signing off on the last piece of the Macrovia deal. My name, Evelyn R. Shaw, was plastered on every clearance document. I was the neutral liaison, the bridge between two empires of bureaucratic chaos. No one else had that clearance. No one else wanted it, and that was fine. I liked being invisible. Invisibility is freedom, until they decided to make me disappear completely. It started like most betrayals on a Wednesday. Free bagels, all hands meeting, the HR death bell. In walked Mallerie, the new COO, jawline like corporate steel, suit worth more than my car, eyes full of startup cult zeal. He dropped buzzwords like confetti, agility, modernization, legacy rot. Everyone clapped like he'd cured cancer with a spreadsheet. I just sipped my burnt coffee and fixed another broken data bridge. 3 hours later, Cheryl was back, this time with 2 HR drones and a manila envelope. Evelyn, can we speak privately? Translation, bend over. The letter was the usual corporate euthanasia. Your role no longer aligns with strategic vision. By the time I reached the last sentence, one HR rep was already asking for my badge. But what gutted me wasn't the letter. It was the photo on the front desk. My photo with "Do not let her back" scrawled in red. I'd built their systems, saved their deals, missed holidays for their deadlines, and now I was a threat in heels. I didn't cry. That would have been a gift. I packed my desk in silence, gave my assistant Kyle a small nod, and walked out. But before I drove off, I opened my Secure Vault app and deleted a single encryption key, one tied to my clearance certificate for the Macrovia merger. Without it, the system couldn't verify any third-party sign-off. Without me, the merger couldn't close. They fired the only person holding the detonator and didn't notice the pin was gone. When I got home, I pulled out the contingency folder I'd labeled 2 years ago. Not because I was paranoid, because I paid attention. Clause 9C, printed right there in legal ink, termination of named liaison without substitution, voids compliance status, and suspends acquisition protocol. Translation? Fire me. No deal. They just turned a $300 million merger into a very expensive paperweight. I didn't plan revenge. This was logistics. You pull the keystone, the arch collapses. Mechanics, not malice. I called Macrovia compliance. "This is Evelyn Shaw," I said. The guy on the other end, Greg, went from cheerful to choking in 30 seconds. "Wait, you haven't submitted your final sign-off?" he stammered. "No," I said, calm as a server log. "Because I no longer work for CoreLinks." The silence was beautiful. Within minutes, they froze everything. Funds, signatures, escrow. My lawyer, Daniel, sent the formal notice right after. Evelyn Shaw no longer represents CoreLink Systems in any capacity. The screaming probably started before lunch. By Friday, CoreLinks was in full meltdown. Macrovia refused to sign without a cleared liaison. Clause 9C was trending on the company's Slack like a doomsday prophecy. Kyle texted me, panicking. "What the hell is Clause 9C?" Everyone's freaking out. I didn't answer. Some lessons you let people learn by watching the ice crack. The CFO left me voicemails calling it a hiccup. It wasn't. It was a lung collapse. Every compliance check failed because my key was gone. I didn't need to gloat. I just watched it unfold. Like a fire you didn't start, but you did quietly remove the batteries from the smoke alarm. They tried to play nice, of course. You flexible terms, temporary credentialing bug, all the corporate fairy dust they sprinkle on panic. When that didn't work, they sent someone to my house, a man with a folder and false hope. I watched him on the doorbell cam. Didn't answer. Let the envelope blow off the porch. They still thought this was about a job. They didn't understand it was about control. By Tuesday, the boardroom was on fire. Tate looked like a damp raccoon in a suit, while investors demanded to know who authorized my termination. Someone leaked a photo from my last day, the do not let her back sign, and the internet devoured it. Even Macrovia's CEO liked the post. That like probably cost core links more than my entire career. The next day, HR sent a desperate offer. Double salary, new title, hero treatment. Daniel replied for me, Quiet Seal LLC is available for limited licensing of relevant services. Market rates apply. Retainer required. That's right. I'd registered my own company in 11 minutes. If they wanted me now, they could pay vendor rates. I wasn't an employee anymore. I was infrastructure. The offer leaked, naturally. By lunch, people were whispering my name like a campfire story. The woman who stopped a $300 million merger with a single deleted key. Suddenly, the invisible compliance officer had become corporate folklore. Macrovia made it official a few days later. Due to unresolvable compliance gaps and personnel discrepancies, the acquisition has been terminated. The stock tanked. Executives fled. Tate quit mid-meeting. The company that had treated me like disposable software was now licensing my old integration code through my new LLC at 4 times the original rate. Poetic, really. A week later, a courier dropped off a velvet box. Inside was a note from Macrovia's CEO. Next time, they'll know who built the bridge. No request, no flattery, just acknowledgment, the kind that lands heavier than applause. Now my mornings are quiet. 3 screens, no Slack, coffee that doesn't taste like burnout. CoreLinks pays me just to keep their systems breathing, because now I hold the access keys. I don't chase anymore. I am the terms. And if anyone out there still listening and hasn't subscribed, seriously, what are you doing? Hit the button. Support the ghost in the machine who finally learned that being invisible is power, but being irreplaceable? That's profit.